SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Whether you're looking to start a career with no student loans or change careers to land one of the happiest jobs in the world, yep, that's construction, Build Mississippi can help. Visit buildmississippi.com to learn why a career in the trades deserves another look. Buildmississippi.com. Your future is waiting.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Grateful for you tuning in. I am Steve Azar. Thank you to my team at SuperTalk and into my 8th year with you guys, and it's been a blessing. Learning to listen, as I say. Speaking about listening, listen up. Visit Mississippi.org. Check it out. Plan a road trip with your loved ones. We're going to head to the Mississippi Delta. You know how much I care about Mississippi, and particularly the Delta, because I'm from here, with a pal of mine. Today's guest, a two-timer now. It's been a while, though, and I follow him on social media. He's always on the move, and it's always about food. Well, it's not always about food, but the part I see is food. So we'll dig into that in a second. Every time I see him, it makes me hungry, I can just say. He grew up on the farm in Drew, Mississippi. Last time we checked in, he was making his way through parts of Mississippi, partaking in gas station food because cuisines like, say, chicken is king in a lot of them. However, he decided at some point to take his show on the road outside the Mississippi lines. He put in tons of miles from Key West to San Antonio to Kansas City. He's been wearing out the Southeast lately, still promoting his wonderful book, Meetin' 3, that's doing extremely well on Amazon. It's one of their best sellers lists. So check that out, Meetin' 3. He's hosting events in Drew, Mississippi, home of Archie Manning. Come on. Success Supper Club. He's got Archie and Drew on his T-shirt right now. You can't see it. To get entrepreneurs in the same room, in some cases I've seen in the same parking lot or field, wherever he is, together to network and learn from other entrepreneurs. I think that's a great thing. But at the same time, because there are 3 of him, which I believe there are, he's still doing the gas station thing and traveling across the southern U.S. Also speaking, a lot of motivational speeches. Someone has an ear. Get ready to listen. He's ready to speak. Please welcome in my farmer pal, restaurant owner, caterer, fast food traveler, author, Stafford Sheridan. What's up, Stafford?
Man, that's an incredible introduction.
A lot of that came from the heart. I mean,
I could tell.
I mean, I wasn't even looking. I was glaring at it, but I kind of venture off. So, no, it's good to have you back on. How are you doing?
Man, it's great to be here. 2 Delta guys just hamming it up.
I know it's not a good thing sometimes. I mean, it's like
it can go the wrong way.
Hey, sometimes things can go so wrong they're right, so it's okay, right?
100%.
All right, okay. So I want to dig into some things. First of all, I want to talk to you about what's been going on with this entrepreneurial thing. You texted me one day and said, "Would you come be a part of it?" I said, "Heck yeah, that sounded cool." I saw some posts, and it looked like people were either outside your restaurant, they were at your farm, out in the grass. I don't know. There was a bunch of people there, and it looked pretty cool. Tell me about who has been there speaking, and if you're a fly on the wall and you're soaking in all that summer heat, what's been some of the memorable moments?
You know, we've done one. That's it. Okay. That's the one we just did the end of last month. We've got another one planned for October. I've got a sales specialist, a good friend, Jay Bradley, coming in from Georgia to talk about sales. And I tell you, I've always been interested in the Zig Ziglars of the world. You know, he's from Yazoo City, Mississippi, and that kind of stuff. And I go to these events outside of Mississippi, and I'm actually driving back from one where Bradley, who's a big podcaster, he was at. And I'm like, why can we not recreate that here? And why do we have this vacuum of leadership and entrepreneurship, particularly in the Delta, but really in the whole state of Mississippi? And the only way you build entrepreneurs is to build that entrepreneur spirit through that kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? There's nobody else going to do it. I'm going to do it. And we have this little outdoor space next to the restaurant, and we gave these tickets away for free. And I put a limit of 90 on there, because I thought that was all I could hold in the restaurant. Well, 90 was gone in.
You had to move outside?
So we moved it outside.
That's why you guys were outside.
Yeah, that's why we were outside, because there was too many people. And the first guest was Heath Riles. And I mean, Heath is, if you don't know Heath, he's a great barbecue guy, just won Memphis in May. Heath Riles has grown a business he started just a few years ago, putting $28,000 on his credit card. Mm-hmm. And within just a few months, he had paid it off and was profitable. And right now, he's 17,000 grocery stores carry his items right now. And by the end of the year,
and that's in 3 years?
Well, it's been a few more years than 3.
But he's been building toward this, right? So
yeah. So he went from nothing to doing millions of dollars a year in seasonings and barbecue sauce.
Wow.
So this guy knows how to scale. He knows how to build a business. He's much more than just a guy that cooks ribs and wins a lot of awards for that, by the way. And so
what do you think? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to dig into that and how can we learn from each other, and how can we put like-minded individuals in a room and have that mentorship, that co-mentorship where we mentor one another.
What do you think separates what he did compared to so many others that are maybe as good or better? What do you think was the magic sauce, pardon the pun? Did he let you guys in on sort of the magic that happened and how it happened and why? Or is it just by chance? Or, sometimes when luck, they talk about luck. Well, when preparation meets opportunity, a lot of lucky things can happen.
Yes.
What was his story?
So he started out working for another company. He had a great name in barbecues, working with another company, and he owned the recipes, and this company decided, we can do this without Heath. So he kind of had a name in the industry when he started out. So and that's like most of us, people look at Steve Azar and say that overnight success, right? But they don't know all the time you put in playing in the local clubs. Some of us know because some of us have been there with you, but they don't see all that. They just see, well, he started with a credit card and a few years later he's a success. But all those
started
years
with so
before,
much debt you would never believe.
Yes.
Stranded in debt.
But I do think a big part of it is just the difference between success leaves clues. And that's why these events are fun, because you see the same story over and over again. And a big piece of it is just mindset. It's literally one guy has confidence and the other guy doesn't. And to have the kind of confidence in yourself to take the big risk like you did, like Heath did, and like all of us that are business people have done, and just go, you know what? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I can live with that.
Nobody's taking bigger risks than you farmers. I don't care what anybody says. There's just too many variables. There's just too many obstacles. Just so many things that you can do so right, and it's like you score a touchdown and you get no points. You know what I mean? Like something gets in the way of putting points on the scoreboard, whether it's Mother Nature, whether it's the price of beans, whether it's our commodities are rolling. I mean, you guys are at the mercy of 1,000 things.
Yeah, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And right now, this year, the big mercy is the markets, right? We're all going to make the best crop we ever made, and we're all going to lose money.
That kills me hearing this. I mean, I've heard that a few times in my life, when I'm paying attention to you guys and some of my good friends down here a little closer to me, and they say that. And I mean, that just, that's like writing the greatest song and it, and you're not, it's not going number one. It's going to get in the top 30 and you're going to get on the countdowns, and that's about it,
Yeah.
And the money that you make for a top 30 or top 20 versus a top 10, it's not even night and day.
Well, it's like writing the best song you've ever written, and then you have to pay to make sure it's heard.
We do that all the time.
Pay you for. Yeah,
What do you call streaming, for goodness sake? We do that all the time. But today, when you go on Spotify and all that, hey, I'm not hating. It's what it is. I've learned to deal with it, and you got to learn to roll with it. And there's some beauties in it. But as songwriters, we're always going like, come on, man. You can't pay that guy hundreds of millions of dollars and you pay us every million streams $4,137. It's just not, when you
That's
get
not a lot of money.
when you get 70,000 on the radio for the same amount of plays, right? For the same amount of plays. That's just crazy. Let's take a quick break real quick. Stafford Sheridan's my guest. Success Supper Club. Stafford, how do we go there? How do we get to be a part of it?
Follow me on social media, Stafford Sheridan, anywhere. I post about them all the time. That's the easiest way to find me.
Wild child on social media. I mean, every other thing I see on TikTok is Stafford. Now that I'm learning to TikTok, I was rebelling from TikTok until recently. Now I've joined the party, and it's awful. But with that said, we'll be right back. Meat and Three, the book on Amazon right now. You'll see it rocking and rolling, always in the top, top bestsellers. So check it out. A Mississippi man. Visit Mississippi.org. He celebrates a whole lot of that and what Visit Mississippi tries to do, and that get folks together in Mississippi, bring folks in from out of state and out of the country, and celebrate who we are. I'm Steve Azar. We'll be back with our pal Stafford.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it.
Hello.
We are in a Mississippi Minute. Steve Azar here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Love those guys. SuperTalk. Killing me that I can't be with them at a football game this year, but we're busy. We're working. But I'll be there in spirit. And speaking of spirit, visit Mississippi.org. They know the spirit of Mississippi as good as any. They love bringing folks in from all over. They love celebrating who we are. It's a special place down in Mississippi. Stafford Sheridan does that on a daily basis when he's not farming. As I say, Stafford, my guest today, author of Meat and Three. Check it out. Big time seller on Amazon. His Success Supper Club is new. Had a great start. I'm looking forward to being a part of that down the road. And I think everything that he's doing is amazing. He loves to comb the country, especially the Southeast, different parts of the South, and go hang out with restaurateurs and see what's going on in the food world. And he's all over social media. Stafford Sheridan with a U. Check him out.
Sheridan, it's Shurden.
Well, yeah. I said you, Shurden. Yeah. People think it's, I'm just saying
It's not Sheridan, yeah.
There ain't no Sheridan. That's in Arkansas. No, that takes us to Hot Springs. All right, real quick, let's dig into now that you've got that going on. I want to ask you one more thing about your supper deal. Success Supper Club. What do you think the magic is of bringing folks in, folks that have their own story, folks that are ready to soak in the success, and what do you think it does for everybody that's gathering?
I always say the universe moves for you if you let it. If you put yourself how do you get a seat at a bigger table? You've got to put yourself in rooms with people that are on the same wavelength. And Steve, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you've been in some of those rooms, but you literally are the average of the 5 people you hang around most. And so if you're trying to get to a different level, the best thing you can do is hang around people that are already at that level or trying to get to that level. And for me, when my dad died, I kind of lost that mentorship that I had from him, and I had a really difficult time replacing that. And again, I just kept traveling out of state, and I was like, you know what? How can I get that back and just do it here? Let's just do it here because we do have good business people in the Delta and in Mississippi that want to give. That's the other thing is guys like you are like, I'm on board, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Your dad is up there going, hey, Stafford, wait, get up. Get up now. Yeah. I love you. I know you love me. And we've all gone through really difficult times in life. There's nothing worse than losing, your parents, your children, your friends. And, that's obviously, but we do believe in a higher cause, but it still doesn't take away the hurt. and it takes time to get over the hurt. And so when was it when you woke up and said, let's go? After your dad passed, how long?
So this is a wild story, but you're talking about farming and
everything,
all
man.
of that. So we had a hailstorm in April 2006, killed my whole crop. And the next day my dad died.
Oh my God.
And so Tuesday we're burying my dad. Wednesday I have to go back. I have no choice. I have to go back to the field and replant the crops that were killed. So one thing about being a farmer is you understand seasons. I gave a speech in Tacoma, Washington last week. And it's one thing farmers understand is those seasons. Winter always comes, but never to stay, always to pass. And you just realize, you just know it. It's one of those things that's instinctual for anybody that's ever lived by the seasons, that when the time is coming to do something, you got to get up and do it. It was so ingrained in me. Literally the day after the funeral, I was back in the field.
Wow. It's beautiful. Well, I know your dad's extremely proud of you, and he's around, he's around. Just can't.
I believe that.
All right. So me too. And so let's dig into your book here. Meetin' 3. I love the name. But it's MEET and 3.
Yeah.
So, as songwriters, you can out-clever yourself we out-clevered yourself on that one. But you didn't. So tell me why the title, first of all, and when does the inspiration come to finally sit down and do that? Because it takes time and effort. And like I said, there must be 3 of you, but, there's triplets somewhere. No, it hadn't been, you guys went to
I've
school
always wanted to write a book. I always wanted to write a book. And, this whole farming thing we were talking about earlier, I could see the writing on the wall like a year or two ago that we were fixing to be in really dire straits. And one of the things I did after my dad died, I hired a business coach for a while. And not like right after my dad died, but 2 or 3 years in, I was like, I need some help because I don't have all the answers. Ronald Reagan said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm never that. I can promise you, I'm never that. Even when I'm with kids doing One Mississippi, I feel like I'm definitely not the smartest guy in the room. I still feel inadequate at times, but go ahead.
I understand. So last year, I ended up hiring a coach named Michael Burt in Nashville, Tennessee, and I started going to a bunch of events with him, and I did a one-on-one with just he and I sitting there. And I said, look, here's what I'm dealing with. This is where we're headed with farming. I've got to figure out a way to navigate all of this. And I was telling him my story. He said, man, have you ever thought about writing a book? And I said, absolutely. And right there that day, we came up with the title Meetin' 3. But originally, it was going to be MEAT because my life has always been food centric, right? Yeah. Food's always been there, whether I'm mowing my grandmother's yard and she's cooking for me, or whether it's lunchtime on the farm and we go into town to eat at Miss Sullivan's barbecue in Drew. So it's always revolved around food. And I'm about halfway through writing it. And I'm like, really this book is about connection. And I mentioned that to one of my coaches, and he said, have you thought about changing the name to MEET if it's really about connection? And so that's what we did. We changed the name about halfway through.
So impressive that's so important to you. I didn't think anything was going to ever be more important than food, and I never thought, when I heard the title of the book, obviously you know where my mind went. It went to the A, not the E.
Yeah.
Not 2 E's, EA. And when I saw it, I said, what? And then I thought, you know what? That fits him. So in my mind, I said, yeah, and you didn't out-clever yourself. It makes a lot of sense. And I love that. So how did you start the process? Writing a song's one thing. I'm always impressed with my friends that have books. Obviously the Arthur of the State song, I put the words are in the same words that I wrote in the song are the words in the book. So I get credit for being an author, but come on, give me a break. But you have to really do some serious work. Tell me how you started it.
So it's funny because I always wanted to be a songwriter, and I think that's harder than writing the book. We're talking. And it's like, what do you write about when you write about songs? You write about what you know. And so when we started talking about this, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write a story about growing up in Drew, Mississippi, because who knows that better than me, And that's the story I started writing. But it's funny because I'd written a piece for, I can't remember if it was Delta Magazine or who, that I ended up not using that became the preface of the book. So even before I was writing the book, I was writing the book, right?
Yeah.
It's like that preface that you read in the beginning where I talk about going out on the farm, it had just rained, and what all of that, all of these changes and seasons. And how food is a part of that, and how we're all connected, whether it's to the land or to each other, especially here in the Mississippi Delta. I actually wrote that 2 years before I decided I was going to write the book, and I thought, that'd be a great preface. So it's funny. It's like this weird thing where maybe I've been writing this book all my life, because
and you have been.
Yeah.
You have been before in the days you were talking before we got on with everybody about playing those memories of playing golf with your dad.
Yeah.
And how he loved it so much, how dedicated he was, and that those are your moments, part of your memory, those memories that won't leave you, and they were so beautiful. But you were writing your book back then. Things eventually, you get so full up there that it has to come out. So I get that. But I'm a Cliff Note guy. I feel like songs are Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
They're not even chapters. They're like one page. And so to write a whole book, to me, takes extreme concentration, and you can't be really crazy ADD, I don't think. So you got to be focused.
Maybe you can, Steve. I'm borderline.
Okay, so once you got through, did you have editors and all that, or did you have to go through that process?
So.
Hey, I'll tell you what, real quick. I want that question, but we're going to have to take a break, or they're going to cut me and you both off.
Okay.
Time slipped by in the second segment of a Mississippi Minute. Stafford Sheridan, author of Meet and Three, MEET and Three. Amazon, check it out. Mississippi man, farmer, restaurateur, caterer, speaker, and his new supper club. How can folks get to it? New supper.
Stafford Sheridan, anywhere on social media.
And the name of it is Where's My Success Supper Club. Be a part of that. If you're close, check it out. Visit Mississippi.org. Celebrates everything that Stafford does. I can tell you. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
And I shall believe. $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
You know that nowadays most people go online to look at a business before they spend their money. What if the online information about your business is incorrect, or even worse, not very flattering? If your online presence isn't great, you may be losing customers. STMM Digital's trusted and highly trained team is the answer. We're ready to work with you to help your business capitalize on the power of digital marketing. Call 601-991-2305 or go to stmmdigital.com to get started today. Get started today. In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
In a Mississippi Minute, I've got the bug guy outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Spraying for bugs. It's been a while. Where have you been? Because we saw roaches hanging around in our den, and I don't know why. Anyway, okay, so Stafford Sheridan's my guest today. He is the author of Meet and Three, MEET and Three on Amazon. Check it out. It's been rocking Amazon in the bestsellers category for quite a while, and that's really cool. He has also got his Success Supper Club that he just started. He's all over social media. And he loves to go out and check people that are making anything that he wants to put in his stomach. Anything that looks good. He's all in. He's traveled extensively hanging out with foodies. And I can tell you it's a very cool thing to watch. So follow him on social media. Visit Mississippi.org. Follow that. Check it out. Celebrate your Mississippi. Be proud of your Mississippi. Take a ride on the country music trail. All right, Stafford, we were talking about your book. What was the question before we went to the
Editing.
break? Editing. Yeah, let's talk about that. A lot of people think that, it's done and that, and you have to deal with the editor. Did you like your editor? Did you agree with your editor?
So I had a great experience because, there's really three ways you can publish a book. You can go through the traditional publisher and have it published, and that is a very arduous process from what I understand. Very hard to get a traditional publisher like Penguin House or something like that. Yeah. And then there's self-publishing where you just write the book. You go on KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing, upload the book, and they will put it on their website and sell it. I did what I call a hybrid version of that, and I paid a company to edit my book, and there are even companies that will write it for you, like that you can tell them your story and they'll write it. And that typically, by the way, that is what this company does. Yeah. And I called them and I said, got the name from my business coach, and I called them. I said, look, I really want to. I've done a lot of writing. I really want to write this book. I don't want to lose my voice.
Right.
And they were like, well, show us what you've got. And I sent it to them, and they called me back. They're like, yeah, you can write the book. So
awesome.
I had a great relationship with them, but I was also paying for the service, right? So to be clear. And I said, I know that there's some grammatical errors. I definitely want that to be fixed, but I don't want it to be changed so much that it doesn't sound like, I want it to sound like how me and you're talking right now. Yeah. And they were totally agreeing with that. They were like, yeah, you've got a different voice. I wanted it to sound like, I want you to read it and say, that's somebody from Mississippi. And they were really cool about that.
As songwriters are grammatically challenged. I just want you to know that.
Oh, there's a great story from my 91-year-old English teacher. And she said, Stafford, you always were the best writer in my class, but I could never give you an A because your grammar was so bad.
That's funny. The irony in that.
The irony in that. She's 91.
Wow.
Yep.
We had a teacher that when I got to come back and do like this country weekly spread or whatever, I can't quite remember the magazine. It was one of those magazines, and I had to go back home to my favorite teacher, Miss Sandra McGaw. Legendary forever. Everybody called her Mama McGaw. And she was a game changer for me, and so many. But one of those mentors that said, this is what you're doing. You can enjoy your sports and you can do all this, but Steve, that thing you're doing with the guitar and those songs, the words you're writing, that's going to be your life. And she was so adamant about it that I felt like every time I got stuck at a wall, I'd think about her and I'd go, man, she's going to kill me if I don't push through, if I don't get to the other side. And my mom was that way. My dad was that way. I had really great help when it came to surviving the losses. There were a lot of them.
Yeah.
And like you talked about earlier, way more losses than victories in our world. It's worse than a semi-okay batting average. It's just not great. We wouldn't last in the majors. Even with, if you bat 280, you're pretty dang good. And we don't bat 280. So, I mean, we wouldn't have a job in any other place in life. But so this book, you got it all rock and rolled. What made you decide on the cover? Was that a process?
Okay, so there's a lot going on in this cover. Yeah, there's McCarty's Pottery. Everybody from Mississippi knows about McCarty's Pottery. I'm looking at the book right now.
Yeah.
The table, and for those that can't see this, obviously, I'm sitting in a field of beans eating fried chicken at a table with a tablecloth on it. And there's my field of beans. It's the very field that I talk about in the preface where I'm riding on the Fitzhugh Road. The fried chicken comes from my restaurant. The rice on the table comes from my neighbor across the turn road. Literally, Mike Wagner's rice. And then the tablecloth was made for me and my wife when we got married 30 years ago.
Wow.
As a wedding gift by my grandmother. And she didn't finish it. She had terrible arthritis. She didn't finish it. And a lot of the book is about her.
Wow.
A lot of the book is about the influence she had on me with food. And that's why I like the kind of food I like, probably, is because of her.
Did your grandmother do what she used to do to me? First of all, weren't allowed past the invisible rope in the kitchen. Okay, you couldn't get in any of the doors, right? Try to go through the back door. Her kitchen had a back door, a side door into the living room, and one going into the breakfast room. But I'm telling you, there were no ropes physically, but there were ropes. And I'd try to cross it, and then she'd go, and I'd go, just tell me what's in this recipe, because I was intrigued, right? And my grandmother, just like my mom, have always left out ingredients. Either they were challenging me to find them, and I'd call them, go, hey, I added this. Oh, yeah, that's in it. I said, well, you didn't tell me. And they said, oh, yeah, we told you. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a number of things they'd never tell me in every recipe, but yet they still never admitted it. And I was going like, come on, man. Mama, come on. Mom, come on. You guys are cut from the same cloth. What's going on here? And, but it's so funny that I think that they cooked sort of basically not even out of memory. It was so second nature or third nature. It was in the just feel. Out of feel. Exactly. Yeah. It was the feel of cooking. Isn't that interesting that you just said that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story about my grandmother. A little kid, I would drive to her house and mow her yard, and I figured out that if I got there about 10, that she would cook lunch for me. She had a lot of grandkids, but because I was the one that went over there and mowed the yard, I got a lot of one-on-one time with her, and I got to be in that kitchen and see what she was doing. But I'll tell you a funny story. My mom gives me a cookbook called Pick of the Crop, which North Sunflower Academy put out years ago, the first one. And there's all these recipes from ladies her age. And I called her one day, and we called her Mammy, which may not be politically correct. This is a long story how she got that name. But I was like, Mammy, what is oleo? And I don't know if you've seen oleo in these recipes. And what it was, during World War II, they rationed butter because of the war. And so they started making Crisco. It was like a block of Crisco, and it had a little button in it that you would mash, and that's your butter flavor. And that was the first margarine. So
I remember it. I mean, come on.
And it's like, I didn't remember it. I had no idea what oleo was. So it's just margarine. But so many of those old recipes that they had were like that. And I think my grandmother's kitchen was probably a lot like yours, where you had the mailbox with the loaf of bread in it, where the rats couldn't get in it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just always a dessert sitting up there of some kind. Something sweet is always there.
Yeah.
And, so many of us in the Delta, if you read this book, you're going to recognize everything in it. If you're not from the Delta, it's a little glimpse into the way you and I grew up, because it's so common for everybody. So many people have messaged me and been like, took me straight back to my childhood.
Yeah.
Which made me feel good.
Which is what food does. And then food brings in all the people that you had those memories with and those meals with. Yes. And also, I think you'd agree with me, and you talk about your grandmother cooking, being around family and cooking. Our daughter is making her way up in a Michelin star restaurant in New York, and she's fighting her way up. I mean, it's a battle.
Yeah.
And she loves it. She's loved to cook since she was a little girl, and she was with us in the kitchen. It wasn't the final product. It was the road to the final product. All that time of cooking is the magic time for family. It's the magic time for friends. It's the best conversation. It changed her world. And she fell in love with that and the art of it all. And it's ruled her world ever since. I mean, it's been her whole life. Let's take a quick break. Ole, ole, oh. That should have been the commercial back in the day. What was that, the bird? What was it? Come on. Morris Day and the Time. That could have been the commercial. I always think about what could be a great commercial if we change the words a little bit. Stafford Sheridan, Meat and 3, MEET and 3. The book is on Amazon, rocking. He is changing the landscape of the Delta when it comes to food. He's traveling everywhere, and he's spreading his Delta love, Mississippi love, around the Southeast and beyond. Speaking of that, he loves his Mississippi. He understands what Mississippi.org provides opportunities for people to fall in love with our Mississippi. That's a beautiful thing. I'm Steve Azar. I'm finally home.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The Super
Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
When I was 16, I knew everything. Opportunity grew on trees. I'd taste them, waste them, do it all again. 10 feet tall, invincible. I felt short on principle. Rebellion, a hellion. Yeah, that was me back then. Burned by my mistake.
Got a little bit of a segment left with a good pal in Stafford Sheridan. You can follow him online everywhere, social media, from TikTok to Instagram, Facebook. You know it. I don't know. All I know is he's there and he's enjoying it. It takes a lot to keep up with all that stuff. And somehow one of the three of him, because I know there's three of them, he still won't admit it, that has time to do all that he's doing, including being a farmer. You have no time to breathe when you're a farmer. You got no time to sleep. You got no time to do anything. So I don't know how he's doing all these other things, but he's taking the time. He's making the time. He's got 29 hours in a day. I figured it out, and that adds up in a year. So there's his extra time. Visit Mississippi.org. Spend time traveling down here to our Mississippi Delta. Check out Tupelo, Mississippi, the birthplace of the king of rock and roll. Check out B.B. King Museum. Baby, are you kidding me? The king of the blues. Go to Meridian, the Max Museum. Check out Jimmy Rogers, that story, father of country music. Make your way to the Gulf Coast, and I'm telling you, watch a sunset. Watch a sunrise there. It's a beautiful thing. Speaking of sunrises and sunsets, this man sees them all in the Delta when he's farming. And he's doing a whole lot of things. His Success Supper Club is about to be round 2. Who's going to be in the Success Supper Club? You tell me who's coming?
So the next guy is Jay Bradley, unless we can get you in here before Jay. Jay's coming on the 22nd of October.
Oh, yeah, I'm in, though. I really want to do it.
Oh, I would love to have you, for real. And Jay's a sales specialist, so he's going to talk about sales and mindset in sales. We talked about mindset being such a big thing. But
who comes? He says, so tell me, is whoever you bring going to decide who decides that wanted to come? Oh, I think I'd be interested in that. Or do you feel like you're going to have the same people always coming for whoever speaks? I'm just preparing myself.
I hope it's a little bit of both. I hope we get some new people coming in and out. There were people there that were strictly barbecue people when Heath was there.
Right.
That probably will not come to the next one. But I also think I'll have some of those same people over and over again, which is good because I would love to, for being selfish, I would love to develop relationships with some of those folks that were there. You know what I mean? And it helps all of us. And I've been in a lot of rooms where some great things came out of just being in a room. You get new information.
Yeah.
And then it opens your mind to things you didn't even know were a thing.
Kathy, Joe, and Zane Alford, I'm the brand ambassador for a lot of their products at Sharon.
I know them well.
Yeah. And they would love this because they are always wanting to learn. And it reminds me of all of us songwriters hanging out back in the day. Nobody had hits yet. And then one of us did, and they were going like, this can be done. It was the camaraderie of getting together. And it was almost like you needed all of you together, spending time together, getting to know each other to have enough belief that it could happen. I mean, like we drug each other up. You know what I mean? So that was, I feel like looking back, and I feel like what you're doing is sort of is offering the same opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to have rural entrepreneurs, we're going to have to, or rural entrepreneurship, we got to build rural entrepreneurs. And for somebody, exactly what you said, to see that it can be done and go, wait a minute, there is a path that these things can happen if we're committed enough. Mm-hmm. Like you got to be committed, like you read about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be committed. But if you're committed enough and you're willing to make those sacrifices, I don't think it's much that can't be done. I would not have had an opportunity to write a book if it wasn't for Amazon, to be honest with you. And like you said, these guys on TikTok might have never been found.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that social media.
No, listen, I'm all about this. This is free enterprise.
It is. It's like good and bad. There's a dichotomy there.
But you know what? For folks like us, and we got a lot of friends that are a little bit built like us. We've always had that sort of entrepreneurial spirit. We've always had that built in. And now as an artist, you have to be that. You have to focus on all these things that you got to do besides the art, but you're doing it in the name of art. And you're fighting for everything for the bottom line, and that is your compassion, passion, and vulnerability all in for what you love to do in your life. And so to do that, you have to do a lot of other things. But the good news is it promotes opportunity that you couldn't have gotten before. And I love that. So I think it's time that we got to end this thing. I would love to do another round with you. I think that you and I should probably do 15 Mississippi minutes.
I know
and
it.
Then see where
we could just have a podcast just once a week. We could.
I think it'd be a good idea maybe if we do round 2. We'll talk about this after this. But Stafford Sheridan, the Supper Club is Success Supper. What is it called? Where am I at? Where's
Success Supper Club.
Success Supper Club. The book Meet and 3, MEET and 3. It's on Amazon. Kick and Tell. And he is in love with our Mississippi. Visit Mississippi.org knows that. And that's a beautiful thing. Stafford, we're going round 2, which is really round 3 because you were on a couple years ago. I appreciate you taking that.
Thank you, man.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.